Hello. So today we will talk about sentence correction. So what is sentence correction? Sentence correction is a tricky part of the verbal ability section in the exam. Makikita mo kung ano ang dapat i-correct sa isang paragraph or sentence kasi minsan nakabold ito or underline. So yung dapat mong gawin ay baguhin yung ini-emphasize or pwede namang hindi. Now let us discuss the important rules and errors sa pagtackle ng isang sentence. So first here is subject-verb agreement. Di ba natakil na natin ang subject-verb agreement? Kapag ang noun ay singular, dapat singular din ang verb. Kapag plural naman ang subject, dapat plural din ang verb. So here's a refresher. The girl was reading. Ang noun dito ay ang girl. Singular yung noun kaya ang verb ay singular din. Next, the girls were reading. So ang noun dito ay yung girls. Yung subject ay plural, kaya ang verb ay plural din. Now let's recall some of the essential rules of subject-verb agreement. In case of collective nouns, the verb used is singular. So what we have tackled, pag collective nouns na ang ine-emphasize, ang grupo, hindi ang miyembro, singular na verb ang gagamitin. Pag hindi ine-emphasize ang mga miyembro, ine-emphasize dapat ang grupo para magamit yung singular na verb. Example, the army is planning to attack the terrorists. So yung buong army, isa lang yung iniisip nila, which is to attack the terrorist. Next. For subjects connected by "and", we use plural verbs, while we use singular verbs naman for subjects connected by "or". Remember, na ginagamit ang "and" kapag magdadagdag ka, kaya ang verb ay plural. Example, Jana and John are going out to dinner. Kapag naman "or", ang ibig sabihin niyan ay isa lang sa pinagpipilian, kaya ang verb ay singular. Example, neither he or his sister is at home. Next. If the sentence begins with each, anyone, everyone, a singular verb is used. So, kapag may nabasa kayong anyone, anything, everyone, no one, someone, each, either, neither, one, nobody, nothing, anybody, anything, somebody, something, everything, and everybody, automatic na singular na ang verb na gagamitin. Next. For the sentences that contain either or and neither nor pairs, the verb used will be singular if both the subjects are singular. In case one or both the subjects are plural, the verb is also plural. So kung makakabasa tayo ng either o kaya or, tapos neither o kaya nor, tapos yung subject ay parehas na singular. Tandaan, kung yung subject ay parehas na singular, ang verb na gagamitin ay singular. Example, either one of you is telling the truth. Moreover, kung isa sa subject sa sentence ay singular tapos yung isa naman plural, o di kaya parehas silang plural, yung verb na gagamitin ay plural. Example, the girls or the boys are going to downtown. So meron tayong dalawang subject na pinag-iisa ng salitang or. Kaya kung titingnan mo yung example, ang verb na gamit ay are. Dahil despite na or ang gamit, hanapin mo pa rin ang subject. Dito sa example, ang subject ay both plurals. Kaya naman, ang verb na gamit ay are. Now, often, there arises confusion between the usage of I and me. Pag ginamit ang I, it means na ikaw yung subject sa sentence, while yung me naman, nagagamit siya as object, meaning that you should use I if you are the one acting, while me is the word to use when an action is done to you. Examples. Mary and I joined the sports club. So dito yung subjects ay sina Mary and I. Dahil ikaw at si Mary ang gumawa ng action. Next. John took Mary and me to the sports club. Dito naman, yung Mary and me ang object dahil sila ang nakaka-receive ng verb which is yung word na to. Next. Another important thing to identify here is the correct usage of pronouns as per the subject and object. Kung babae ang tinutukoy, dapat ang pronoun na gamit ay she and her. Ang gamit ng she ay nagre-replace siya sa name ng babaeng tinutukoy mo, while ang her naman ay ginagamit as a possessive pronoun. Applicable to sa he and him, it, tapos sa they and them. Now let's proceed to another rules and error. Repetition. Pag sinabing repetition, paulit-ulit. So kung nasa isang sentence siya, kailangan siyang tanggalin. So let's head to the example to further understand this. I returned back from Goa. So intindihin natin yung sentence. May mali ba? Okay, sige ganito. Let's translate it to Filipino. Ako ay bumalik mula sa Goa. Again, may mali ba? Diba meron? So kung ganyan ang kaso, need na may tanggalin ka na. Sa tingin mo, ano ang best na i-keep sa sentence? I returned from Goa or I back from Goa? Okay, so ang answer ay returned. So now let's read it again. I returned from Goa. Okay, another example. I came back from Goa. May mali ba dito? Okay, sige. I-translate rin natin siya sa Filipino. Bumalik ako galing Goa. Again, may mali ba? Wala. So kung ganito, you will leave it as it is. Now, let's proceed to error in modifiers. Pag sinabing modifiers, dapat magbibigay ito ng further description or information sa isang noun or isang bahagi sa sentence. Nagiging error lang siya kapag hindi niya nalilink ng klaro yung word sa sentence. Kaya nagre-resulta na mali o malabo ang gustong iparating ng sentence. Example. Sitting in the garden, a scorpion stung her. So at first glance, parang walang mali. Pero if you look closely, malilito ka kung sino yung minomodify or dinidescribe na nakaupo sa garden. Di ka sure kung yung scorpion ba or yung babae. So let's modify it. Sino ba yung kayang umupo? Yung babae or yung scorpion? Yung babae. So siya yung minomodify dito or dinidescribe na nakaupo. So para maayos ito, dapat nakatabi siya mismo sa modifier. So need niyang i-rewrite. So this is how it is now rewritten. Sitting in the garden, she was stung by a scorpion. So pinalitan natin ang her into she since ito ang tamang pronoun. At after that, dinescribe mo na kung ano yung ginawa naman ng scorpion. Now, let's proceed to parallelism. Pag sinabing parallelism, dapat yung sentence structuring equal yung ideas. What do I mean by that? Alam nyo, di ba, kung paano maglista? So, pag naglilista tayo, pare-parehas yung ideas. Example, list of dates. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Di ba, pare-parehas yung ideas? Pwede rin siyang for comparison. So, yung parallelism, ginagamit siya to describe or expound something. Example, Sonia likes to dance, sing, and cook. So, dinidescribe si Sonia. And yung ginamit ay a verb na dance, followed by another verbs like sing and cook. Another example, Sonia likes dancing, singing, and cooking. So dito, pinapakita na yung pag-describe sa gusto ni Sonia ay ginamitan na ng noun, which is dancing, and followed by nouns like singing and cooking. Last example. Sonia likes to dance, sing, and cooking. So dito may mali na siya. Bakit? Nag-start to describe with a verb, but sa huli, noun na ang ginamit. Now let's move to error in diction. Ito yung mali na nagamit mong words or phrase sa isang sentence. Example, there's the town. May mali ba sa sentence na to? Meron. So ano ito? Yung word na theirs. Dahil town ang tinutukoy at hindi naman possessive noun, dapat ang gamit na adverb ay there. Yung T-H-E-R-E. Kasi nagtuturo ka ng isang lugar at this point. Another one. See you later. So dito may mali ba? Meron. Kasi dapat imbis na latter, later. So, nagigets nyo? Yung error in diction, mali lang yung pagkakaspell, mali yung pagkakapronounce. Yun yung ibig sabihin niya. Now, let's head to the wrong comparisons. From the title itself, maling comparison. Example, John is wiser than all men. Can you spot kung ano yung mali dito? So, honestly, mayroong dalawang approach para masagutan to. First is i-change yung wiser to wisest para makater yung comparison na all men. Second is to keep the word wiser, pero you'll add the word other to tell na hindi lahat. So there are things that should be kept in mind while tackling a sentence correction. First is to identify the concept. Generally, sa mga tanong, merong isa o dalawa na rules na ginamit ng hindi tama. So first, alamin mo yung particular kind ng error o di kaya errors. Hanapin mo kung may time indicators tulad ng before, after, during, and etc. Dahil makakatulong ito to spot the verb tense errors easily. In some cases, the whole sentence needs to be rewritten. So, once nalaman mo na yung error, try to rewrite the sentence na hindi ka tumitingin sa options. Next. Similar answer choices. Minsan, yung mga choices masyadong malapit yung meaning. Kaya parang sa tingin mo, lahat ng nakalagay dyan tama. So, ang trick dito, kailangan basahin mo muna yung full statement bago ka pumili ng answer. So, kung merong 2 to 3 similar options, di ibig sabihin nun na isa sa mga pinili mo ang tama. Minsan, yung actual answer ay yung hindi parehas sa mga napili mo. Next. Treat all options equally. Kadalasan, kapag may napansin na agad tayo sa mga choices, di na natin kinoconsider yung iba. It is advised na basahin mo muna lahat ng options bago mag-decide ng right answer. Next is pay attention to the non-underlined part. Common na kasi sa atin na hindi pansinin yung mga naka-underline. Unknowingly na yung mga walang underline na yon ay mayroong vital hits about the kind of error as well as the required answer. Again, read the entire sentence dahil importante ang context para malaman ang sagot. Sa mga choices, minsan, yung choice A ay copy ng original underlined part sa sentence. Kaya kung hindi ka makahanap ng errors, grammatical or otherwise the original sentence, choose letter A sa mga choices. Tapos mag-move on ka na. Another thing, wag mong aalalahanin yung spelling. capitalization, or punctuation dahil hindi sila covered sa sentence correction question. Next is to choose the shorter answer. Kung na-stuck ka sa dalawang options, choose the shorter one dahil minsan yung mga mahahabang answer ay nakakagulo lang talaga. Kaya kung di ka sure, basahin mo muna ng maigi yung short answer. Next, substitute the selected answer. Mas maganda na pag nakapili ka ng answer na i-insert mo siya sa sentence by rereading it. Make sure na merong sense yung sentence. Kung masyado siyang komplikado, pakinggan mo yung sentence and choose the option that sounds best to your ears. Next is the elimination technique. Kapag sa tingin mo magulo na ito, yung kailangan mong gawin ay first, wag mong i-eliminate agad yung options na may idioms or pronoun ambiguity. Nagiging problema lang siya kapag yung meaning ng sentence ay nababago neto. Second, yung options na may ing sa last word like working, running, and so on ay kadalasang hindi tama, kaya pwedeng di na siya i-consider. Third, minsan yung word pair na just as, so, not only, but also ay mali ang pagkakagamit. Or minsan yung half nito ay missing. Finally, wag mong hayaan na ma-stuck ka sa isang answer. Kung confusing na siya, go through the rest and eliminate the obvious ones first. So that would be all for today. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you on our next class. Bye-bye.